Hey, welcome to the next edition of Upgrade List. We take the initial starter decks that you get from Foundations and on, and if you make a count today, and we're going to pilot them and try to get them to the point of being semi-competitive or at least competitive enough in Pioneer. So if you like this series, make sure you smash that like button, subscribe, and hit that bell notification for future videos. I'm also going to start doing some different kinds of content when it comes to budget options. Not only am I going to be doing these decks and the deck building guides, but I'm probably also going to do some random this is a meta deck, upgrade it kind of decks as well, because there is some decent decks you could build that are meta, at least meta enough where you should actually appreciate getting into that deck if you're wanting to on Arena. The goal of that would be 8 rares, and then rest are common uncommons. So that's something I'm going to be looking into doing as well. And so if you like this kind of stuff, make sure you definitely take care of look at all the stuff that's interesting to you. And down below, there is a link to the Patreon if you're interested in joining the tournaments that I'm going to have monthly, as well as additional other tournaments like showdown tournaments where it's going to be like LGS style. Also, where it's hopefully we'll have them daily. Also, there's other types of tournaments as well. Side events, main qualifiers, EGS tournaments, high level. So check it out in the Patreon below. All the different tiers helps you set you up to really optimize your competitiveness for mainly Pioneer and also a few other formats. So, and let's get into this deck list and see the deck in action. So the deck list we're going to go with today is Vampiric, Hunger. Now, right out of the gate, the upgrades I'm going to go ahead and do is a couple copies of Sanctifier Veterans. And for our remaining slots for commons, we also want to get some Duresses in the board because it's just a very good spell. You're going to want to have access to it for a decent portion of the time while you don't have access to Thoughtseize. Besides that, we have, for the most part, that's our commons. For the uncommons, we do get some Fatal Pushes. It's just the best spot removal spell. We get 4 copies of Cleric's the Life Bond, 1 Ajani's Primate, and we also picked up, I believe, a Go Blank in the board. Now, some of these cards, of course, in the board are all cards you would already have access to from other starter decks that we just kind of join them together to make a sideboard temporarily. Like I said, I'm going to go down the path that this deck is going to be more of a Cleric's deck. Because if you want to go more like a life gain Soul Sisters, just like a generic Soul Sisters, probably Selesnya is your better choice, green-white. You get better dual lands and all that kind of stuff for a budget. But since this is black-white, I want to keep with the same colors. I don't want to pivot. I am going to be focusing more on white cards in general, just because that way you can branch however you see fit. If I'm making you devote too much time, crafting a bunch of black cards when, you're really here to play the Soul Sister style, then that would be a big disservice to you. So that's kind of what I'm doing here. I'm going to go ahead and devote most of our wild cards to white cards. So that way you can make the decision if you want to play this deck still, or if you want to pivot to Soul Sisters and Selesnya. So that is the deck we're trying out. Let's see if this deck has what it takes to compete in the current Pioneer ranked queue. Play a land, Sanctifier, go. We definitely need black mana at some point, but I think we're okay for now. Fatal Push really hurts. Alright, Volt. Don't really want to play the Sunblessed Cleric, say go. So let's play the Verge and passes. Are you thinking about casting on... Okay, Trespasser. That makes my healer much worse. Like he knew. Overseer, go. There's a black source. That's really good. So we can maybe get to this arena. Yeah, take our beats. We don't need these planes. We're happy to pitch them. Sure, there's the Annex. A land. Turns on the Volt, so we take 2. We'll go ahead and play a Johnny's Primate. And say go. I don't really want to actually attack with the Overseer. I'm most likely going to chomp with it. Oh, my bad. Yeah, that's tapped. I can't actually Fatal Push this third. Harvester. Sure. I should have just attacked. That was my bad. Torching. Okay. That's pretty heartbreaking. Turns on that. We take 2. There's a second black source. Not a fan. I guess we don't kick it. Pass the turn. See if you have removal for it. Yeah. But this is tricky. Do I... What are the odds that he... Either way, I think I have to. Either I'm killing the Vault here, or I am taking out the Demon token. Oh, come on. Alright, Scoop. So we have Duress. Go blank. Probably Feldar Sovereign. Shoot the Sheriff could be nice, but I don't know. What are the actively bad cards in this matchup? Guess Cat Collector. Paladin. Panda's fine, actually. This is kind of nice because it's a Edict and an Overseer, maybe? Do I cut an Overseer for a Make a Stand? I think we run it like this. Temple. Bottom. Go. You could play Land Thoughtseize. No. That's not a bad start for us. We'll just go ahead and play a Primate. Go. You have a Torch. Push is better. At least that means our healer's online. Assuming he doesn't have another way of dealing with it. Play the Rabbit. Go. Would you kill my Rabbit? Anoint. Okay. There's a Fable. I think I have to get rid of the Fable. Yo, I can't have him making his hand better quality. Because if he does, we kind of are screwed since our deck doesn't really have the card quality that his deck does. Let's be real here. No offense. Fable Mirror Breaker broken. Alright, so this turn, let's go ahead and kick it and get back a Primate and say go. So he could Fatal Push at any point, but I don't think he will. Yeah, I guess his hand's pretty good because he only wanted to get rid of a Harvester. We'll block with a Healer. Just puts a counter on the Primate. Shieldred. Does he have a Thoughtseize? That would absolutely ruin my day. Annex. I mean, that's just as bad. Turn that on. He gains 2 or 4. We lose 2. We lose additional 2. So this retreat is not helping. So we play Ellen. Linda. Like goo. So the question here is, how do we get through this Shieldred? I can't get this retreat down and have a land. So if I draw a untapped black source, that would be optimal. So I could play this, get a counters, and then Fatal Push something. But the odds of that occurring is probably very low. We would exactly have to draw a swamp. Sure, we go to 11. We take 2 on end step, take another 2. We're essentially at 7. Edict on even? Oh. Okay. So there's a chance. Like Cleric. And a Johnny Primate. Say go. There's definitely a argument to leave up a Fatal Push here. To get the Mutavault. But if he's smart, he would actually just activate that. But he allowed it to tap mana. I guess he does get a 6 drop. He gets it for 6. Not a terrible turn. We take an additional 2. Yeah, we're at 3. There's no world where I could do this. So I'm taking 2 here. I have to do it like this, which is awkward. Say go. We can maybe go to 1, potentially. Never mind. Yeah? Alright. That's GG's. 0-1, let's get into the next. Appland, go. So hopefully we can do much better with this hand. Another Rakdos deck. Of course. Seems like every deck you face anymore is Rakdos. Play a Cleric. Don't kill my Cleric. Let's play the Overseer. Yep, Torch. Okay. Draw a card. I guess we Primate plus life gain? Yep. Another Fatal Push. There's a Slasher. Alright, we played Cat Collector. Say go. A FOMO. And what else? What do you got? Crack the food. Gains in life make 8. Oh. My turn. Oops. Alright. Mission accomplished. Get rid of the Slasher for good. Question is, can we get there at all with this game? You guys have more cards than we do. Alright, go. Get rid of 2 Archfiends, the draw says. What do you hold it? Is this a Fatal Push? And they gave a Fatal Push, you wouldn't even care about blocks. You would just sack the treasure and just push it. Seems a little weird to me that you would do it that way. Especially since you were at parity. Yeah, it was a punt. That ain't cutting it. I guess we bring in them and make a stand, I'm thinking. Cat Collector, Paladin, maybe not make a stand, and a healer. Temple. That's not a terrible card. Alright, Theater. Seems reasonable. So that definitely is one of our best cards we could find for a grinding matchup like this. How do we play this? Let's do what Johnny's Primate. Go. I think it's probably better if Johnny dies than Cleric. Because this actually could trigger off of other things. Even if it is only once per turn. Sure. Please don't kill my Cleric. Please leave it alone. Cool. Play a Retreat. Get frisky. Yeah, trade. So this Retreat hopefully helps us. Make some cats, do some other stuff. And X. We go in Tribute. Make a 2/2. Stay go. Archfiend of the draws. And a land. You take some damage. Make another cat. Get frisky. Get rid of the Archfiend. Yep. Okay. You got me. I'm just trying to push over here. Sure, make the 5 a 6/6. It always amazes me, like, when they actually get the perfect thought season like that. Make it 2/2. Go. Mm-hmm. So what am I drawing here? We're at 12. At 10. At 8. So we're dead next turn. And we get a land. Uh-huh. Okay, that's too much. 0-2. Let's get into the next. Tap land for the opponent. Play a Sanctifier. You. Shocks himself. Beanstalk. Johnny's Primate. Get frisky. Go. Now the question here is, I'm definitely playing a tap land. So many counters got lost. That could have went on to the bond. I'm assuming a removal spell's inbound. No. Just an Overlord. That's fine. So we play the tap land. Play a Veteran. Attack. Go. So, what do you guys think about this deck so far? Let me know in the comment section. Like I said, this is the first iteration. The next one's going to be all common, uncommon upgrades. So the deck should perform a lot better. Even if we win one match, that's still a definite progress. And then we'll get into the, like I said, the last part of the series, which we cover the deck with fully optimal rares in it. Ooh, that's so bad. I kind of wish I had another black mana. We have a Cleric. It's going to get a counter. You could have a Binding up. I attack for 2. That's most likely going to get through. Question is, can we take this game? We definitely want to be the aggressor in this matchup. Is our ideal target. So when we go for sideboarding, we want to make sure we lower our curve, and I think we try to just outflank them. Play another Cleric of Life's Bond. So there's the binding to get the Cleric. Are you going to kill my Veteran too? Don't. My Veteran's innocent. Just look at it. He's an old man. Aw, come on. Sure. Get a counter. Play a land. Get frisky. So next turn, we can make a Sun-Blessed Healer. Get back the Johnny Primate. Another removal spell from the opponent. And Overlord. Sure. So getting into Arena, I want to know what deck are you guys enjoying? If you care to share any kind of list or anything like that, let me know in the comment section. Because there's definitely a lot of room here, I think, for budget options. We go ahead and play Sun Healer. Get the Primate because it's going to grow faster than the other alternative. Say go. Now, I don't know how we get through the Overlords. He is at 6, so that is not a high life total. So I just need to get a few damage across. There's no world where he's ever attacks with the... Oh. That's bad. Zur is absolutely atrocious when it comes to being something we can beat. I mean, he just has a gigantic board. Okay. So we have Expel, maybe? Retreat, Go Blank, and Bot. I don't think we're going to want the ability to gain indestructibility until end of turn. He had Vanishing Verse. He had Leyline Binding. These cards don't really... we can't do much against that. Shoot the Sheriff, not really where we are. Fatal Push is gone. Easiest card we ever had to cut in our life. Like I said, we want to lower our curve. So we want to cut like the Pandas and the other 4-drop. Now, what are we going to put in that place? You could definitely argue now it's just Sheriff. I don't really think we want some duresses. I mean, duress, I guess, is cheaper. Maybe we do a 2 and a 1 split, and then our curve is definitely a lot lower. We have this kind of a catch-all, so we could maybe blow up big creatures. That is what we're doing. Barons, go. Now, don't get disgruntled if you're playing this deck while you're in the process of upgrading it. Just being honest with you, I mean, it's going to be a upward battle for the first few iterations. I mean, you're going to be doing you're just kind of outclassed in general for Pioneer at this current juncture. So, don't get upset or discouraged. Hit ya. So, if we get like a match win or two with the uncommon upgraded, that would be spectacular. The rare one is usually where you start seeing all the changes come together and actually put together some really good wins. Keep in mind, like, this card will still probably be in the rare version, just because it's one of the best reasons to be a cleric deck in Pioneer. So this current juncture, I think I want to go ahead and play a veteran, which allows me to gain a life, and that grows. Now, I think the next step is to go blank here. This doesn't do much. This also doesn't do a lot. And get frisky. We want to make sure we are definitely applying pressure to his hand and his life total very fast. Okay, makes a couple of 2/1s. That's a little problematic. But the fact that we have Phyrexian Arena is kind of nice. So I think it's important here to play the Cat Collector, which gives us a cat. Play a veteran, Luminarch Veteran, and a land. Smack. I will offer that a trade. He chomps. Why didn't you just trade with the 4/4? Does that seem crazy? Like, do you need the 2/1? Is this 2/1 honestly better than taking out the cleric? I guess unless your goal is to sweep this turn, which you would have done it by now, unless you have temporary lockdown. Okay, there's Cat Collector. We make a bunch of cats. Very weird. Alright, so that means we get to make food, make a cat. I guess that means this cleric of Life's Bond doesn't get any counters this turn. I was thinking it was the first time that you gain life for it being, since it being on the board and seeing it. But no, it's just... So the binding probably eats my cleric. The question is, how do we win this game? If he attacks with a 6/6, what do I do? I probably just throw both Cat Collectors in front of it and pray. I can't allow this Overlord to stay on the battlefield. So our best bet is we just top deck and expel, but we are less likely to top deck that now, thanks to that being exiled. Alright, so there's the Sanctifier. That means we gain some life. Make more cats. So there's a little bit of synergy between this Cat Collector and our little things, and we should be able to, with the Johnny's Primate, to be able to gain a bunch of life. If there's a better card that makes tokens whenever we gain life, that would be insane. Alright. Sanctifier. So he plays a Binding. Are you entering my Cleric or my Cat Collectors? Cleric, which will take a long time for that to be kind of relevant. I mean, because it's only a 3/3, and he only gets 1 counter per cycle. So it definitely would have taken him a long time. So, Tribute to Hunger. It sucks that it says during each of your turns. It's so restricted. If it was once per turn, that would be sweet, but... So we're 44% likely to draw land. Bat. No, we take 4. Called it land. Rack of food. To make a cat. And say go. If I play this, he's just going to get sacked at 2-1. So go. You have another removal spell? For my cat collector? I don't think I can win from that point. Oh, Fatal Push. That's fine. I mean, I have all the cards. I'm care less about the tokens, and then probably the Soul Wardens. The cat collector is kind of the best card on my board right now. Maybe there's an argument I should have upped that to a full play set. But that's probably the end. Right, because I can't really be a Zur. Because they also get lifelink. Alright, all cats. Go, go, cats. You have a Fatal Push? Okay. I'm off. 0-3. Let's get into the wrap-up. So what do we learn to think about this deck overall? Like, there are some definite issues with the deck. Tribute to Hunger didn't feel very impressive, honestly. And I don't really know if I really care for the Panda or the Paladin. I would rather just cut my curve back and potentially cut back another land or so. Just so I can make sure that the curve is pretty within a tight structure. Sideboard, there's definitely was some glaring issues there. Undying Malice is fine, but, you know, it's not really a card you're excited about bringing in ever. But you don't really have that many better options. So the next build, like I said, will address with a decent amount of upgrades when it comes to the sideboard. Should be a lot more tuned for dealing with random matchups. In the actual the package in the main, like having better triumphs, go for the throws. So we have plenty of things we could do to upgrade this deck as a whole. Let me know in the comment section what you guys thought about these upgrades. What upgrades would you want to do immediately for the second iteration? I'm curious to see how other people would definitely tailor their deck to what I think would be the more optimal strategy. But until next time, hopefully you guys have a great rest of your day, and I'll talk to you guys next time.